The Moving Iron Podcast is brought to you by these great sponsors. Are you looking to value your equipment more accurately, target the right buyers and close more deals, reach your ideal customer? Then look no further. Fusable isn't just about ag data, it's about action. Our best-in-class solution empowers you to value your equipment accurately, make informed decisions, and find the perfect prospects. Ignite your dealership's growth at fusable.com/movingiron-podcast. Out in the field, every decision counts. You wouldn't plant without testing your soil, so why would you prospect blind? Introducing EDA, your one-stop shop for ag equipment intel. EDA goes beyond specs and prices. You get deep dive data on every piece of equipment like UCC filings that help track ownership changes and uncover potential sales leads. D&B firmographics, which help you understand the financial health and buying power of potential customers. Market trends that help you stay ahead of the curve, and insights on equipment demands and pricings. With EDA, you're not just looking at data, you're seeing opportunity. Find the right buyer, sell smarter, and build lasting relationships. Visit edadata.com for your free demo and unlock the power of knowledge. For over 80 years, Iron Solutions has been your go-to data source for ag dealers, lenders, and manufacturers. Get powerful appraisal and value forecasting tools that fuel profitable decisions anytime, anywhere. Get your free demo at ironsolutions.com. Iron Solutions, confidence in every click. Today, there are many ways to finance ag equipment, but nobody delivers simple, fast, or flexible financing like AgDirect. Learn more about your options to buy, lease, and refinance equipment at agdirect.com. Valley Transportation has been hauling ag and construction equipment across the country for the past 33 years. Call Parker at 800-657-4910 for all your trucking needs. At Valley Transportation, our goal is to help you reach yours.
When you partner with Axon, you immediately gain access to a full range of products and solutions designed to meet the complex needs of today's grower. We carry all major brands and sizes of tires and wheels. We specialize in large diameter wheels for large equipment. We have one of the largest OEM replacement wheel inventories in North America. Known for extreme flotation setups, duals, and triples, we have wheels for all makes and models of tractors, sprayers, combines, and grain carts. If we don't have the wheel in stock, we'll custom build, sandblast, and paint in-house. There isn't a more vast inventory in North America dedicated to helping dealers move more iron. With facilities on the West Coast and in the heart of the Midwest, leverage our 230,000 square feet of indoor inventory to solve any problem a grower may have. Move more iron with Axon.
At Big Iron Auctions, customer satisfaction is our #1 goal. As the 40-year leader in auctions for agriculture, real estate, livestock, construction, and transportation, we are here to serve you. Big Iron will handle everything from start to finish. From meeting with you, to prepping your equipment, writing the listings, and collecting buyer's payments, let us do the heavy lifting for you. We love our customers, and we treat them like family. There's a Big Iron sales rep in your area, so let's get together. To learn more, visit bigiron.com.
Moving iron in the 21st century. Hard-working people working hard for you and me. Moving iron, time and time again. Through the years you'll find us here. Moving iron.
Once again, it's time for the Machine Shed. I respect what you've done in the combine world.
But when you step in this ring, you're messing with
Aaron Finnell.
And that's something you don't do.
Yeah, you're on a different planet now.
You got your eyes locked on the world's most combine selling son of a...
Now I can't help it that I'm custom made. I can't help it that I look good, smell good, woo, can dance all night long. I can't help it.
The Nature Boy. Woo! Last year, Aaron Finnell spent more money on spilled high guard in fields all over Box Butte County than you made. I'm talking about the cinch shirt wearing, sheep raising, kiss still, woo, combine dealing, diesel driving, hay cutting, son of a gun. He's having a hard time keeping his ostrich boots on the ground. Woo!
Hey, what's rule number one? What's rule number one?
Party.
No, not party. No, it's not party.
There ain't no party like an Aaron Finnell party. Welcome to the Machine Shed. Got Aaron Finnell back here with me to talk about what's going on in the world of machinery. But hey, we would be remiss if we didn't have our one conversation that we have here that has zero to do with machinery and everything to do with our second biggest passion, which is football. And Aaron, how you doing, buddy?
First of all, because an Aaron Finnell party don't stop.
Yeah,
I'm
dude,
good.
I
am good. We have a beautiful sunny fall day in God's chosen time zone, and we're just living life, brother.
I've been to several Aaron Finnell parties, and they start out fast, but they are short lived.
They are. They're handy.
Yeah.
You show up at 6, you're sideways by 8. You have a buffet. You go to bed.
Yeah. That is you're in bed by 10 still, no matter what. You know what
that's
I mean?
right.
So that's
why one of my best friends affectionately calls me a sprinter when it comes to party time. All out real quick and then stop.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
Hell on speed, not much on stamina. So
that's right.
You know, get going there.
That's right. This ain't the 2-miler, boys. This is the 100.
No, it's you're right there in that. That's for sure. They had so we've kind of unscriptedly, worked in sports into this. And I don't know what we're going to talk about when football's over, because after football's over, I don't know what really else to talk about. But
we have off season. You have college off season, NFL off season. You have the combine. You have the draft. You have spring football.
Yeah,
2 different transfer portal windows.
Yeah. And you got Canadian football, so then we could go. I could dust off my Argonauts hat and get after it.
Well, hell yes, go Tiger Cats.
That's right.
Find out what that's all about.
Mm-hmm. I really enjoyed the process. So
let's go watch the football.
So I couldn't help.
Just kidding, boys. Night. I love y'all up there.
I couldn't help myself, but go through this and said. Brian Kelly left Notre Dame to go to LSU because you can't win a national title at Notre Dame because kids are too smart, I guess.
Yep.
But they seem to have done really well since he left. So maybe he was the problem and not the admission standards, right? He goes down to LSU and they got worse than they have had in the past. So you watch Brian Kelly kind of flap in the wind and do some very animated press conferences from time to time. Probably the funniest thing I saw on the internet last night when I was just kind of closing up my day was that the thing said Nick Saban was going to take the LSU job. And that made me giggle a little bit, because if this was like Nick Saban 5 or 10 years removed from the Alabama job, where he's, Bear Bryant's not even looked at as affectionately anymore as he used to be because Nick Saban's there. But it made me laugh because there's just no way that maybe if he does, great, that's whatever. But it's just one of those things where I'm like, that is the most absurd thing on the planet, because watching someone like that go take a year off from a program and then go immediately back into a program that's going to play Alabama directly in for conference play and everything else. It just makes me laugh to watch that happen, because I just don't see it. For a guy that left the program and went to Congress and testified about how bad NIL is,
right,
and everything else, I don't see him coming back into the coaching game anytime soon.
No. And what is he getting paid to sit there on Saturday for 3 hours?
Yeah.
A lot of money.
A lot of money.
He gets paid a lot of money to listen to Pat McAfee be a jackass all day long.
And he's the thing about I like about Nick Saban on
anybody got a pen? I'll sign up for that.
The thing I like about that is that on game day, When he first came in, he was like the Nick Saban that we know and love.
Right.
He was the very
this is how we do it.
Yeah. And then now he's like the
rat poison.
rat
poison.
Every once in a while, he gets a good zinger in there. So he's I think he's enjoying it.
He's old Grandpa Nick's loosening up a little bit.
Yeah. So I think it's funny to watch that thing happen and how that turns around. But I think it's one of those deals where.
Well, here's the deal. The man is over 70.
Sure.
He has a statue in Alabama, a statue.
Right. And an office still.
Yeah. How's that work, Coach DeBoer, by the way? and he quit. He's not going to go to another school. The man made like what, 10, 12 a year at Alabama? And had the world at his fingertips?
Yeah.
He does not like the current game between two portal windows, NIL. And the reason is because Lord Saban is no longer Lord Saban. You can't fill your bench full of 5 stars from the South and hide them. Because all of a sudden, that's a starting running back at Ohio State. Oh, that guy's at Boise. Oh, look at this.
Your backup quarterback is in the Heisman.
Right.
Heisman
right.
Box, you know what I mean? So, yeah. Stuff like that is going to be interesting to watch. I heard one guy put it this way after it was when Vanderbilt beat Alabama, I think.
Right.
It was he put it in a way that I made a lot of sense. He's like, the really bad teams aren't going to be really bad anymore, and the really good teams aren't going to be that great anymore. There's a leveling out there where,
right.
you can go do whatever. But this also, if you think about it, you remember back in like the early 2000s.
Well, look at it this way, Casey. Vanderbilt beat Alabama with kids from New Mexico State.
Right, and they almost beat Texas.
Right.
I mean,
Indiana is 10-0 with, other than their starting quarterback, their main contributors are from a Sunbelt school.
Yeah.
James Madison, because they came with Coach Sig.
Right. Yeah.
Like, welcome to the evenization.
Yeah. This kind of feels like, you can remember the early 2000s when you had like the Boise States of the world started to get on the map. And a lot of that was
they beat somebody in a big upset in a bowl game. Who was that?
The Statue of Liberty play.
Who'd they beat?
Oklahoma.
Yeah. Oh, you poor thing.
Yeah. They had watching that game was tough because at the time I had a 1-year-old son at the time, and he was sleeping, and it was all I could do not to scream while he was sleeping in the middle at 8:00 at night. But
can't spell ouch without OU.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. They had if you watched how those things play together.
How's anybody checked on Venables for a minute?
That dude, I feel sorry for that guy, man. His tenure there has been plagued from the time he got there.
And their defense isn't even good. Like, if anything, they should lose 10-0.
Right. That's just, I feel sorry for that dude because he got there and when
Lincoln
left, he took everybody with him, right?
Right.
Offensively and defensively, mostly offensive guys. But I mean, like he took I think 14 or 15 starters with him when he left. So that was kind of a hard thing to overcome.
But look at this. How good were they? They got the same record.
Yeah, true.
They're both like 4-5 or whatever and dragging ass.
Yep.
You know who's not 4-5?
Who?
Tatonka. You know where to find me. We coming. Go Buffs, baby. Yeah. Big 12 champs 2024.
Whoa, that's a big
on
title.
It. Oh, it's destiny.
You're so proud to hang that sign up on your gym wall.
Hell yes.
Big 12 champs, sort of Big 12. I mean, we have 12 teams still, but I mean, that's
no, they don't. They have 16 teams.
Conference. That conference went from being one that I enjoyed watching to like, it's like the Mountain West and what's left of the Big 12 had a kid, and that's what we got.
No, it's not. It's the Pac-12 and the Big 12 without the Big 12's hammers. why Casey Seymour says he enjoyed Big 12 football for probably a decade, maybe a decade and a half, is because his college team had complete and utter control of that conference. So
no, that's not true at all. That's not true at all. If you look at
they played K-State,
right? You look at the competitive nature of the Big 12 back in the day, right?
How far back? Like 96 when it started?
No, it's like mid 2000s.
Okay.
Like mid 2000s to the 2010s. In that time frame. If you look at that was there. You had a great conference, right? You had Baylor was good, Texas was good,
Okie State,
Oklahoma State was good. I mean, you watch these rivalry games that come and play with each other, and I hated to watch them because as much as I wanted my team to win, I also didn't want the Big 12 not to play for a national championship. So you'd have Oklahoma State would play each other, right? And they're like, Oklahoma's number 2 and Oklahoma State's number 7 or whatever, and they go fight, and then Oklahoma State wins, and now neither one of them get a shot at
right?
Right?
Exactly.
And then
exactly.
Or Red River Shootout, Oklahoma, Texas play each other, and they do the thing. Or Baylor when they were phenomenal,
Yeah.
They would go play, and then all of a sudden you get these games, and then it would just you'd watch this with heartbreak because not only then just stupid Pac-10 or Big 10 schools start creeping in there, and then it's just next thing you know, it's just the whole thing. College football, to me, with the way that the conferences have changed today, I don't want to go back to the Big 8. I don't want to do anything like that, but I'm just saying, I liked it when it was so regional, right? The regionality of the conferences made sense.
Right. Yep.
An LA
Why
team.
is UCF and BYU a conference game?
Exactly.
And they get worse. Why is Stanford and Syracuse a conference game?
Exactly. Right. Right. You got, or why is Rutgers and USC a conference game?
Right.
You know what I mean? They've made it all about.
It's all TV money. That's
it's all TV money, and that's what it is. And I mean, I get there's a business there, and they got to make money and all that stuff. But when it was the Big 12 made sense because it was just teams in Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas.
Colorado.
That made sense. And Colorado, right? Until they were like, we're going to the Pac-12. We're going to go over there because we're as competitive there as we are here, so we're going to go over there and do that.
That didn't work. But we'll be back in a decade, everybody.
Yeah. The only thing I can say about the SEC is
look at Nebraska since they left. There's been nothing but articles about Nebraska is a Big 10 cellar dweller.
Right. Yeah. And
just think if we still had the 1996 Big 12, buddy. That conference, although only 12 teams, you go back to 2010 when Colorado and Nebraska left, and A&M and Missouri the next 2 years.
Right.
Okay. So you lost 4 teams right there. Nebraska and Colorado were the main 2 in the North.
Yep.
Other than K-State would pop in there once in a while. A&M was always spoiler routine in the South. And actually when Missouri, back to your point, the early 2000s to 08, Missouri was good.
Yeah, they were really good.
Gary Pinkel era. Missouri was damn good.
Yep.
And then they kind of fluttered off, and then they went to the SEC and never to be heard from again until all of a sudden they won the East a couple times over there, and you're like, whoa, what?
Yeah. The only conference out there, in my opinion, that still makes sense is the SEC. That's
because they purposely will not bring in non-touching.
Right. So everybody that they have in the SEC is south of Mason-Dixon line.
That's why they want FSU and Clemson. That's all that's what that's waiting for, and they'll be done. Give us those 2. We now own the universe. And that's it.
Yep. So I think.
And this guy will never cheer for one damn team over there, ever.
Why?
Except Florida. Huh?
Why?
Because I don't like that. I will never live over there.
Well, I won't either, but I'm just saying it's good football.
I like my 2000s Big 12. I want to beat you 63-60.
I don't. I want to beat you 28-20.
I
17. And it's
We're going to play a little This is called basketball on grass, everybody. Buckle in.
I like the games when you win by 60% run, 40% pass.
I like having to sub your quarterback at halftime because his arm is so sore from slinging it all over the yard.
Yeah, I don't. That's good. You got to have that part of the. You got to have that, but you also need clock management's a big part of.
One of us is a tight end. One of us is a guard. Which is which?
Yeah, you can't think about tight ends. I remember when
tight end seam on one, ready break.
I remember when tight ends would come back over, we'd do offensive line drills, and the tight ends would break off for 7-7, and they'd go do that. Then they'd make their way back and grace us with their presence as they came back to work with the offensive lineman. We'd be like, "Oh, look who's coming back! The guy that's not quite fast enough to be a receiver, but not quite good enough to be an offensive lineman."
There you go. That's right. Too slow to be a receiver.
Yeah.
So, not big enough to be an O lineman.
That was always fun. All right, let's talk about some equipment stuff.
Hey, yeah, it is called the machine shed, not the practice field.
Yeah. All right. Let's beat up on row crop tractors here for a while. I look at row crop tractors as
there are way too many 4960s. There are way too many 7140 Magnums. They're just clogging the sales stream.
It's way too many of those.
You cannot give away those 8410s.
The ones that have been completely overhauled and made 1 year old again, because that's what the biggest issue in the row crop tractor market is the 1 to 2 year old tractors. And that, as you look at what's going on here, quarter over quarter numbers are quite impressive, right? So you have almost put it this way, row crop tractors. When I say row crop tractors, I kind of lump everything together anymore because they all kind of run together anymore, right? You go from 175 horsepower plus, so all the way up. With the 500 horsepower row crop tractors that are out there, I kind of everything to me is just, I just look at it like that, right?
I would do this though.
Okay.
Within the row crop tractor realm, because you are in today's world, you're talking 200 to 500 in some companies. Okay.
Yep.
Some are as low as 2. And I'm talking, this isn't, Pumas and 7Rs. This is 8s and Magnums. You can get them as low 8s and Magnums and Agcos. You can get them as low as 200. You can get them up to 500.
Right.
So what I like to do, especially if you look at the last 2 years in the row crop tractor issues, there's a big line in the sand on row crops. 300 plus, 300 minus.
Yep.
The under 300 horsepower isn't that big a deal because there's never that constant, this farm has 10 of them. And if there are, there's far fewer operations that do. Whereas you get to the 300 plus, your farms have 3 to 6 of them. And every farm does. So that's why me personally, I really think it's a difference of a 300 plus row crop and a 300 minus row.
All right. No, I totally agree with what you're saying. I think that all you're exactly right. The thing that scares me about row crop tractors so bad, would you want to venture a guess the increase of overall inventory since the beginning of the year for row crop tractors since January 1 through today? Today is the 14th of November.
Increase in number of units?
Yeah, total inventory. And I'm talking 175 horsepower tractors all the way through to a big bud.
830. Numbers wise, I would say it's got to be relevant for you to ask. So I'm going to go with a 2,000 unit bump.
I wish it was only 2,000 units.
Ooh.
5,746. There's a 50% increase.
I was just going to say that's half of the inventory.
Yeah. So we started out the year with 11,607 row crop tractors, right? And currently today, we have 17,353.
Now, the interesting thing would be what's January to January, because in the dealer world, you get a lot. This is the time of year you typically get a slug of stuff in.
And we did. everything is either slightly flat to trending down, except for row crop tractors. And there were almost 2,000 machine increase between July 1 to the 1st of October, right? Yeah. So you had July 1 to October 1, basically the third quarter. There were just about there's over 2,000 machines there.
Well, there you go. My guess was spot on for the third quarter.
Right. Yeah. There's 14,276 to July 1st, and October 1st there were 16,244. So just about 2,000 machine increase. Right.
Man.
Where you saw the biggest jump, what we've talked about earlier, we've always talked about this, that there's two big delivery dates, right? You got the first quarter, and then late third quarter, fourth quarter is when you see a lot of stuff show up. Right?
Yep.
Row crop tractors no different. They're going through that first quarter. When you got to April 1, there were 14,150. So you had almost a 3,000 machine increase. Nothing really happened during the second quarter. Pretty flat. I mean, a few hundred machines, and then exploded up. Combines, on the other hand, you started out with 91 in the first year. You saw a rise up to about 10,000. Just 1,000 machines hit the marketplace in the second quarter. Stayed flat, and if you go down and look where they're at now, they're 93.20. So just about back to where we started at the first of the year. That trend line is going down. Everything else, as you look at it, basically is about flat to where it started out the first of the year. Some of this stuff has a slight uptick, but I'm going to call that just seasonal deliveries that are making those upticks possible. The reason why combines are so bad, I'm not so bad, this is actually good, why they're so in such a good shape is that they have been utterly micromanaged all the way through the last quarter of 23 all the way through 24, right? If you had a combine on your market on your lot, it was, man, you might as well have the worst possible thing you could think of on your lot. There was no way. A lot of ways I wanted to go with that, but things I didn't want to say because it could get me in trouble. But
like a cotton picker in Washington or a ropa in Alabama.
Yeah, that'd be good examples of that. So if you're looking at where combines are, and I'm going to say this, and I'm going to probably get a lot of people to tell me I'm crazy, but to me, they're the healthiest thing on the market as far as inventory goes.
I'll start that trend. You're crazy.
And the reason for that is, if you talk to dealers and you went out and talked to guys and they were like, hey, what's going on with, what do you guys do in the market? What were your order? Because the thing about this market, this whole industry and the equipment business is no different than anything else in farming. That everything good takes a year to show up and everything bad takes a year to show up.
Right.
You see it all coming, but it just takes a whole cycle for that to come back around. And as you're looking at combines right now, the amount of combines that got sold for 2025 delivery is like a quarter of what it normally is. So the amount of used trades that are going to come in that first quarter of the year, that's typically when we see the biggest spike up in combine deliveries, is that first quarter of the year. And then you'll see something in that late August, September timeframe. But a good chunk of those
rigs.
Yeah. The biggest chunk of that stuff, if you look at where inventory starts at, gets delivered in that first quarter of the year.
Right.
Because with the exception of the I states where corn and soybeans are all that you grow, and that I-80 corridor thing, most places have a spring crop and a fall crop. They're doing wheat, milo, whatever, they're just whatever they're doing, right? And then they've got small grains and large grain stuff at the same time. I don't see that combines. I think their value or their values are going to keep going down. It's just combines, but their inventory levels are going to keep tracking down. There might be just some flatness, but it's going to be a steady. As I look through 2025, it's going to be a steady growth, because now if we do hit some good crop numbers, good commodity price numbers, which I think we're kind of headed that way. If you want to upgrade your combine and you want to order a new one, okay, great. You're not going to see that till 26.
Right.
Because I highly doubt there's a lot of dealerships out there going like, you know what, we feel good about our combine marketplace. We're going to order 15 new ones to sell on the lot for speculation. Like, no one's doing that, right?
No, that is correct, and nobody's doing that.
The only machine that's out there right now that guys are going to speculate on from a dealership perspective to have for stock in any kind of volume is going to be tractors, a row crop tractor, loader tractors, those mid-level loader tractors, which is weird to say, mid-level loader tractors. You got your typical 150 horsepower tractor, then you're going to have your 175 to 225 horsepower loader tractor, and then you're going to have your row crop tractor after that.
Right.
Those are the machines that people are going to speculate on. No one's going to speculate on a planter. They're going to be like, let's get 15 planters, stick them out here. Well, I feel good about that.
Yeah.
The only other thing that could be of a speculation.
Because they did a couple years ago, they're probably still there.
The only other thing that I think that what people would speculate on, a dealership would speculate on, maybe a sprayer. That might be the only thing that they might look at. But there again, you're looking at, are you looking at a 1,000-gallon machine?
Yeah, I was just going to say, then you got.
What's your guess, right?
Everybody needs a 412 and you ordered a 410.
Right. And that's, so what's your guess? Are you going to, so to me, the only thing that I see sitting on dealer lots in as far as 2025 model machines go are going to be row crop tractors. And that's going to continue to fuel
utility tractors.
Yeah, utility tractors.
But that's kind of a constant. Yeah. Those are very rarely are those ordered.
Yeah, that's like, it's like buying a car, right? You go to the car lot, get your car you're going to get. And sometimes you order one. If you're hyper pretentious like myself, then you got to have a certain number of specs that you want. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
I'd buy this car, but it only doesn't have the heated steering wheel, so I can't handle this.
Right. That actually is very important. I'd take that before a radio.
Yeah, so you work your way through that, and I don't see a 2025 where row crop tractors aren't treated like combines were treated in 2024.
Right.
It feels like to me it's inevitable that it's going to happen.
Just a little caveat to Casey's comment about combines and the word healthy. He's talking the number of machines, not that everybody's machines are priced right.
That because the number of machines, though, people's prices will become more in line.
Right, but you're still, dude. It's
this right here. Supply, demand are weaving together.
Right. There's not a combine unless it's old enough to vote. That's probably priced right.
That's probably true. Yeah, that's probably true. But it's the
unless it's before the last glut we had.
Yeah. And the thing about combines, too, when you start looking at combine pricing, I love these guys that get on here and talk about, I watched an X9 sell for $350,000.
Right.
That's $1 million, $1.2 million combine. I'm like, it's not. I mean, yeah, that's what the list price is. And yeah, I can go build one on John Deere. That's what it says, but that's not the price.
Right.
That's not the price.
And everybody that's ever built one to say 1.2 obviously picked every damn option that they would not even have on their farm. You have to try really hard to get it that high.
I want the 4-track option if you have that, and I'll take that. You know what I mean? Like,
does this one have the levitating?
Yeah. Yeah. And so, I mean, as you look at some of this now, I'm still, so don't get me wrong, $350,000, $380,000, $400,000 X9 combine is a steal. No doubt about it, right?
By two.
You go out and look at what they're priced out on the used marketplace for $700,000 to $800,000. I mean, yeah, it's an absolute steal. No doubt about it. And somebody's getting their head ripped off.
Mm-hmm.
The person that's getting their head ripped off on that, it's not the farmer, right? Unless the farmer's running that through an auction himself, that's not who's doing it. The dealer's running that through an auction. And the trade numbers that they gave the farmer is a 1-year roll deal that they do with them every single year based on $1 per hour based around the machine that they're operating.
It literally has nothing to do. I shouldn't say nothing. It has very, very little to do with what the machine is worth versus the one-off trade.
Right.
It's all dollars per hour on rolls.
Right. And a lot of those dollars per hours are also subsidized by manufacturers' discounts and multiple unit discounts and all these different things that come into play. So it's when you hear someone's trading, that guy's only trading for $200 an hour. Well, yeah, he is, but it's because of other stuff on the backside too that allow for that.
I can get you at $200 an hour too if you'd like to buy 10 tractors with it and all new heads and all that stuff adds up, and then you see bigger discounts, and that's really ultimately what it comes down to. Now, right.
No one's buying anything at list, right? And
ever.
No one does that. So
Ever.
that's another thing there too. But
this ain't Walmart.
no.
Nobody's come in and say, how much is that? Okay.
Right. Yeah. No one's doing
maybe,
that. So
maybe a 1,500 hour row crop tractor in the year 2020 and 2021, but that was it.
Yeah.
Hey, is that available? Yep. Okay. I'll take it.
Exactly. So when I look at combines, I see a combine marketplace that in 2025 is going to be, I think the number of machines that are out there will have, for once in my career, will have enough demand for the supply that's there.
Wow.
I really believe that.
There's that H word again.
Yeah. I just think, I mean, if you look at from what's out there, categorically what's out there, I think combine values are going to match up with not auction values, but I'm talking dealership values, what they see out there and how dealerships are working through their combines and the internal programming that they're doing on used and all the stuff they see, interest rates and blah, 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 blah. That amount of that space will be, for one brief moment in time, there'll be enough demand for those combines for the number of people who want to buy them. The good thing about this is with the lack of machines coming back in on 2025 trade-ins that you see coming in, the good thing about that is that when that customer wants to upgrade their machine, they're going to be taking their 3 to 5 year old machine, their whatever, however old the machine is, and moving it up the scale, right? Either they're going to buy the 1 to 2 year old machine, they're going to buy a 3 to 5 year old machine or whatever it is. We're going to start taking that glut of machinery and start moving it down the washout cycle, so that at the end we have
it down the funnel.
Yep,
Shove it.
Which is going to leave the front end of that washout cycle, knock on wood, with a limited number of machines in it, and then you're going to start filling in the bulk of the machines back into the places where you should have a lack of a better term, an ecosystem that allows for lower priced machines to start flowing through, more farms being updated and those kind of things. That's kind of how I see 25 working out.
So basically what you're saying is dealers, because every dealer in the country is always scared to death of combines, they throttled those back right away, and we don't have tractor problems, created big ass tractor problems.
Right. I mean, and the thing
ever mindful of this. Oh dear God, get a throttle on this at all times, and then these things sell themselves,
right?
Till they don't.
And I mean, the thing about tractors too is they need to update their combine. But I sure like to get that new tractor. You know what I mean? Like there's the tractor, no matter what, we saw it coming through COVID, right?
Right.
Supply chain was messed up for every single platform. Didn't matter if you're buying a 1025R or a 8R410, right? It didn't matter.
Right.
Everything was so jacked up. But what was flying off the shelves at the dealers' lots? It was used tractors. It wasn't. Yep. I mean, combines had their moment in the sun for about 36 hours.
Yeah.
You know, day and a half or so, and then they were like, "Oh, it's a combine, okay." And then we kind of went back to it. But I mean, everything, even like sprayers had that run. Planters to some extent had that run, but not really. There's just a lot of new planters that got sold. I can't say that a bunch of them came back in on trade, obviously, but
the problem with planters is they were so throttled back 12 to 14 after everybody, the world was full of 24 rows at auction.
Yep.
Guys really didn't do much in planters until $7 showed up again, and then everybody went and got a planter again.
Mm-hmm.
The planters, the planters, the row crops, and the combines were all the first grabs of prosperity.
You know, I kind of look at,
and that's why they all have problems. The dealers immediately shut combines off.
Yeah, that's always the first thing to get
right. Always just perpetual fear.
Yep.
Planters in the I states were a huge mess the last 2 years, 23, 24. Yeah. And they've throttled those way back now too. So But you still don't hear guys really, how many different colors of dealers that we talked to last week, and the throttle and tractors back is just not something guys really talk about like they should be. You know what I mean?
Yep.
A lot of dealers put together these mini size multi-unit deals, and those machines in the used market actually come in worse than a onesie twosie. They're nowhere near the big discount multi deals, and those things are a huge problem, and they are what's created a problem for everybody in the country with all the colors.
Yep. So I was thinking about this. Jump back here to planners. I was thinking about this.
And the other reason for that, Casey, I know obviously you know this, but for audience and whatnot, the biggest kicker with that is you have everybody goes and does this for all the colors, and it's always the reason we don't have this is because when things are down, you always have those top level multi-unit guys. They do it every year. Once those guys get far enough down the road, they almost have to.
Right.
That's just how they're set up with cash flow, payments, all that stuff. Those are always there. Our 10 to 14 glut and our 20 to 24 glut is all. It's not the one-off. It's not the big multis. It's those little in-between multis. That's what. And they're only there in prosperity. And when things go south, those are the first things shut off. You still have your top level. You still have your onesie twosie. So that is what kind of the root of a lot of the stuff is. So,
yeah. Yeah. And I think too, if you look at, let's go back and talk about planners for a minute. So planners to me is one of those things where I was trying to think about the other day, like what's the best way to describe the current planner situation with the option that you have to buy a planner now, right?
Overwhelming.
Well, it is overwhelming, but I look at it like this. When the price of gasoline is really, really high, ethanol demand goes up, right? Because you can feed it in there and it does whatever else. When gas price is really low, ethanol demand goes down because it's cheaper to buy gas, right? Same thing on this side over here. More people were interested in doing the upgrade kits pre-COVID than they were during COVID. Because they said, I can spend half the money and update the one I got, or I can just spend twice as much and get a brand new planner to me, and I can make that decision later down the road what I want to do, right? Now we go rewind the tape here and you start looking at where things started settling in 23. More dealerships I talked to had more conversations about upgrade kits and upgrading their planners that way via buying new ones than had conversations about buying used, off the shelf used planners that have nothing to them, right? You should just upgrade what you got in the shed, because they could upgrade it cheaper than they could buy the used one on the lot for, right? This kind of cycle that we see happening right now with the planner thing is, I think, something to pay attention to, right? Because if you go back and look at where planners have been over the course of historically, there were.
Do you think this is the foretelling of the kit model?
Well, here's the thing. So there were back in 2017, there was 5,941 planners on the marketplace. In 2019, there were 4,931, right? And then 2020, they dropped down to 3,000. And now in 2024, at the beginning of 2024, there were 5,741, right? So since the beginning of the year, if you go back and look at everything that's happened so far, like I said, there was 65, 69 in the market as of today on the 14th of November. There was 58, 82, which those have climbed back to basically pre-COVID levels, right? If you look at where they're at now, we've seen an 11% increase in the number of planners get put back into inventory, right? A lot of that so far this year is just there was still some supply chain disruptions and those kind of things coming into 24, waiting for guys' stuff to get here, and then we're seeing through. It's not like a huge number of machines have come back in. You've seen about 1,000 come back into there, so a huge supply of machines that are out there. I think moving forward, as you look at this, and depending on what the prices do, will heavily dictate what people decide to do. Do I update what I've got, or do I go get a used one off that's not been updated, or do I go look at buying the new one? And I think, to me, the two objects out there that are, I think, damned a little bit in 2024 or 2025. Roll car tractors, we talked about that, but I think planters are going to play a big role in that too. You can see, if you go all the way back to 2014, there was something like 8,000 some odd tractors or planters on the marketplace.
Right.
Back then. And that was, but those were $175,000, $225,000 new planters back then.
Right.
24 rows. And that's with everybody's, 17 layers of openers and cleaners
add-ons,
and everything, everything else that was there. So.
Part of the, back to my comment about overwhelming, it really is. I mean, it used to be, do we fix ours or trade? Now it's, well, I could trade, and I could trade for used. I can trade for a used kit planner. It's already got on there what I'm going to put on there, and it's already done.
Right. I
can trade for new. I can make mine new, and not just openers and, bushings, like tech new. There's so much to pick from. It's like, what do you do?
Right.
That's what and this might be my simpleton mind, but I think that'll play into it as much as anything with your comment about planners being on the struggle bus yet.
Yeah. And I think, too, if you look at the moving parts that are associated with that, my fear with the planner marketplace is that there's so many options that the used inventory that's out there is just going to be there. Like there's no churn that you can have where you're going to be able to move those things down unless you just take them all and say, hey, we're going to take collectively, the dealerships get together and say we're going to take 2,500 planners to the market, to the auction market, and be done with them.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're in a position where I think you can do some stuff like that. But man, I'll tell you what, it's not right now. It's just the trend that you see happening is I just worry about where that ends up being at. So
I get it. I concur.
All right. Well, I think we covered a lot of ground there.
We have.
So probably a good place to stop.
We got the practice field all mapped out, baby.
Yeah, something like that. Aaron, folks want to reach out to you. What's the best way to do that?
Well, you can call me or text me, 308-760-1193. You can find me on social media at Facebook and at Twitter or X by my name. On Twitter or X, I do have I throw some wholesale deals out there time to time. It's worth paying attention to. And you can email me, aaron.fintel@movingironllc.com.
Right on. Casey Seymour, you can find me at Facebook, X, and Instagram at Moving Iron LLC. Go to LinkedIn at Moving Iron Podcast. Check out the YouTube channel, which is Moving Iron Podcast YouTube channel. TikTok at Moving Iron Podcast, as well as movingironllc.com for everything Moving Iron related. I want to throw this out there real quick. Everyone that came to the Moving Iron Summit this year, we had one of the biggest shows that we've ever had. And I was a little worried because of where where the economy was, but I think it shows you the power of what networking does, and especially in times like this where you've got everyone's trying to figure out what the right answer is. Getting together with your peers, whether in any industry that you're in, is a great time to see what they're doing and how they're handling it. And I think that's what the core part of what the Moving Iron Summit is. So, thanks to all the sponsors for that, and I really appreciate that, and I really appreciate everyone showing up and being a part of that. So, looking forward to next year. Going to be down in Austin, Texas. We're going to go down on the Dirty Six and see if we can't see what kind of trouble we can't get into down there for
stars at night. Are big and bright, deep in the heart of Texas.
Every time I hear that song, I think about Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Me too. Every time, dude.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Every time I see that. So, yeah.
Yes. Where's my bike?
Yeah. So that's every time I hear that song. That's the first thing I think about. So, Aaron, appreciate you, buddy. We'll catch you again. Have a good Thanksgiving if I don't see you, and we'll catch you again soon.
Absolutely.
All right. So with that, I'm Casey Seymour with Aaron Finnell. Let's go smart, folks. Out. Podcast is brought to you by these great sponsors. Are you looking to value your equipment more accurately, target the right buyers and close more deals, reach your ideal customer? Then look no further. Fusable isn't just about ag data, it's about action. Our best-in-class solution empowers you to value your equipment accurately, make informed decisions, and find the perfect prospects. Ignite your dealership's growth at fusable.com/movingiron-podcast. Out in the field, every decision counts. You wouldn't plant without testing your soil, so why would you prospect blind? Introducing EDA, your one-stop shop for ag equipment intel. EDA goes beyond specs and prices. You get deep dive data on every piece of equipment like UCC filings that help track ownership changes and uncover potential sales leads. D&B firmographics, which help you understand the financial health and buying power of potential customers. Market trends that help you stay ahead of the curve, and insights on equipment demands and pricings. With EDA, you're not just looking at data, you're seeing opportunity. Find the right buyer, sell smarter, and build lasting relationships. Visit edadata.com for your free demo and unlock the power of knowledge. For over 80 years, Iron Solutions has been your go-to data source for ag dealers, lenders, and manufacturers. Get powerful appraisal and value forecasting tools that fuel profitable decisions anytime, anywhere. Get your free demo at ironsolutions.com. Iron Solutions, confidence in every click. Today, there are many ways to finance ag equipment, but nobody delivers simple, fast, or flexible financing like AgDirect. Learn more about your options to buy, lease, and refinance equipment at agdirect.com. Valley Transportation has been hauling ag and construction equipment across the country for the past 33 years. Call Parker at 800-657-4910 for all your trucking needs. At Valley Transportation, our goal is to help you reach yours.
When you partner with Axon, you immediately gain access to a full range of products and solutions designed to meet the complex needs of today's grower. We carry all major brands and sizes of tires and wheels. We specialize in large diameter wheels for large equipment. We have one of the largest OEM replacement wheel inventories in North America. Known for extreme flotation setups, duals, and triples, we have wheels for all makes and models of tractors, sprayers, combines, and grain carts. If we don't have the wheel in stock, we'll custom build, sandblast, and paint in-house. There isn't a more vast inventory in North America dedicated to helping dealers move more iron. With facilities on the West Coast and in the heart of the Midwest, leverage our 230,000 square feet of indoor inventory to solve any problem a grower may have. Move more iron with Axon.
At Big Iron Auctions, customer satisfaction is our #1 goal. As the 40-year leader in auctions for agriculture, real estate, livestock, construction, and transportation, we are here to serve you. Big Iron will handle everything from start to finish. From meeting with you, to prepping your equipment, writing the listings, and collecting buyer's payments, let us do the heavy lifting for you. We love our customers, and we treat them like family. There's a Big Iron sales rep in your area, so let's get together. To learn more, visit bigiron.com.
Moving iron in the 21st century.